All right, you guys, I think this is really...
This looks incredible.
I think we have to try the heart.
Is this the heart?
Yeah.
She's not going to eat the heart, I promise you. But I'm going to eat the heart.
Ready to go.
Look at, I got the blood vessels and everything.
Mm.
Oh, wow. That is so good. That is good.
It's pretty amazing to have something that you've hunted. I mean, this is even like the vegans who I really love are the ones who are like, well, if I hunt it, I will eat it. But otherwise, I'm not going to eat
Meat.
dead flesh unless I hunted it.
I mean, that's kind of like, I respect that. You know, like, if you, and especially people who are going to criticize hunters. If you're going to criticize me, I don't want to see you in the butcher aisle, like in the deli aisle at the grocery store.
Right.
You're like, because even though I shot this with a gun, I still think this is more ethical than a chicken from a massive factory farm.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Or, you know, you see everybody in line like a having these fried chicken sandwiches, right? It's like, well, it's like a mass produced, you know, I mean, I like it's really good, but
You're not so hoity-toity, you don't eat yourself a burger.
no, people just, how we criticize and what we criticize and why we criticize is so faulted.
Right,
You know,
for sure.
It's like doing the deeper dive and understanding like really where food comes from and
Yeah,
being a part of it. Nobody does that.
right.
Except for the really cool people. So where was the bullet?
So it's not a bullet, it's shot, right? So a shotgun shoots, so a shotgun shell has shot little BBs in it.
Okay.
So when you fire a shotgun, you spray the shots. So you basically spray BBs in what's called the pattern, and that's your shotgun, your spray.
Okay.
So this bird was shot with a shotgun, which means it was like a bunch of BBs coming out of the gun.
Okay.
And this bird was flying away from me when I shot it, so I pretty much shot it in the ass.
Okay.
And it was flying, and then it stopped flying. This is a pen-raised pheasant, so it was, you know, had this cushy life in a cage, fed corn probably, so it should be really, I hear they're really sweet. What I am told is that we basically overhunted pheasants in California, so it's almost impossible to hunt wild pheasant.
Right.
So most of the pheasant in California that you're hunting are going to be pen-raised. When you pick up a piece of game, and you've cooked a lot of game, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of your thing. Your whole like root to shoot, snout to tail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want?
Well, you look for freshness, you look for color, you look for the just general health, and then how big are the muscle groups and how much flesh is there, and then you do little calculations in your head, like, okay, this is going to take me, you know, X amount of minutes to cook because it's this big and whatnot. And then I'm looking at these little deposits of fat, which look really yummy and interesting. That will keep it moist. And then I'm just comparing like the leg size to the breast size to think about equal cooking ratio. Because normally it takes the leg a lot longer. It takes a lot longer to get the leg cooked than it does the breast.
And I've heard pheasant legs are really tendony too, just FYI.
Do they run?
Yeah.
They're on the ground a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why. So they're developing their muscle, unlike me.
So what is it like to be a professional chef?
Oh, well, don't ever do it. And it's absolutely amazing.
It's amazing and awful.
The worst part, the best part is that you get to do things like this and you get to work with some of the best people who are in California raising all this incredible food. Because we do have such an incredible food supply and we have the best food shed. So within our little 50-mile radius, we have people raising every kind of animal and growing incredible, you know, local organic vegetables full of vitality. And it's really inspiring to be in that circle of like, you know, going to the farmer's market and being like, oh cool, what'd you grow? And they're like, oh, check it out, purple daikon. And you're like, whoa, I never saw purple daikon. And then what do I do with the purple daikon? So the best part is the creative part. And then, you know, eating. And then also I think probably the best part of the chef thing is that this relationship between your taste buds and your brain is really activated. Because you're like, oh, what's that going to go with? Is that sesame oil or is that coconut oil? Is that should I do lemon or lime? Should I do vinegar? Or what kind of salt is going to be best for that? So
this is your recipe development. process.
the artist side, the like the palate, the like, oh, I have this, oh, I want that. Like every time I put food to my tongue, it activates all these centers in my brain that are like, you know, it could be like that, it could be like that. What do people want? And that's the other piece for me. It's like, what do people want, right? Like, and it's so confusing now because there's paleo and there's vegan and there's pegan, which is the new one.
What the hell is that?
Paleo vegan. You eat protein, but you don't eat dairy, and you don't eat a lot of grain. So you're like a vegan, and you have all the great vegetables, but then you have protein. Peganism is where it's at for me, at my, you know, with my belly fat issues. I love Mark. His name is Mark Hyman.
Mark Hyman.
Doctor, worst name ever.
Okay.
But he has this book called Pegan.
It's not called like broaching or rupturing.
No, no, no. Pegan. So, so I think, you know, and also the video that I sent you from Hunter Angler. Have you seen his stuff, Hank Shaw?
I think so. Yeah.
He's the guy who, I don't know where he lives now. I think he's in like rural North Dakota, but he used to live here. And I think he was a chef somewhere for a little while, but his whole thing was like wild food. So he, you know, he goes out and collects wild rice on the riverbanks. He hunts. And then he has blogs where he talks about how to cook it.
Right.
So that's the one I sent you.
So that's what you do. So when someone comes to you, or if you were to be gifted, because I can't sell anything I harvest, right? Then I need a commercial license, and it's a whole other thing. But I could give away meat or fish or whatever. And so if I were to gift you that, or if you were giving advice to someone who was gifted some game, that's where you would say to go to get a recipe for how to cook it.
Yeah, Hank Shaw.
Okay, and that'll walk you through it.
Hunter Angler Gardener Cook.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his blog.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what do we need?
Salt and pepper.
We have that. Salt,
And then
kosher, I believe, non-kosher.
probably
We have
kosher.
Pepper.
Kosher.
Pepper. We have fresh ground pepper.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay.
And
All
then,
right. Let's season this baby.
okay,
So, do you have any herbs?
I've got herbs coming out my butt.
All right.
Fresh herbs or dry herbs?
We could put some, if you want, we could put some thyme in the cavity.
So I've got whatever's growing in our neighbor's yard.
Okay.
So I know they have rosemary,
We could do rosemary.
oregano. They might have thyme. I have to check.
Rosemary or thyme.
Okay.
Um,
So that's a liberal season. Okay. This is good to watch you do this.
Yeah.
And are you deliberately not going like this?
Yeah.
Because that would make you a douche, or because it's just not necessary?
Yeah, because it's not
Because
necessary.
you ain't got time for that.
You don't need to be a douche. Yeah. I mean, I love it when they're like, you must salt 3 feet above the
And that's
animal.
bullshit.
It's like, well, then it just
Right.
a case of kosher salt is $72 now for 6 boxes. Okay, I'm not gonna be like throwing salt away anymore.
Right. Right. This is the thing you have to think about when you're a professional chef. So if somebody were to see this and go, Jesus, that's way too much for me. I can't do it. What's your advice to them?
Go to the store and buy it. Like what everyone else does.
Right. But say, I mean, I guess my question is, does it matter that it's pretty?
Well,
if you're a home chef. I mean, if you're a commercial
this
chef.
is my first time ever doing it,
Sure.
so I hacked it a little
so it's
bit.
Okay. Right.
But
we're gonna
it's
work
how
it out.
you learn, right?
Right.
It's each time you do it. Each time you do it, you get a little better at it. And that's what's important.
Right. So it's okay that it looks like this, and if people are intimidated, they should just suck it up and just get in there. That's your advice?
Yeah, I mean, do you
Or is that my advice?
want empirical knowledge? Do you want to try it yourself, or do you want to just sit in front of a screen and gobble up endless videos of other people doing it? It's so much more fun just to do it yourself.
Totally.
Let's go down to medium. Okay, now we're gonna get the ghee.
Ghee.
Golly, ghee.
Yeah, when we start, is this going to work for me, this spoon, or is that too big?
It'll work.
Okay.
It'll work. Let's wipe it. Let's wipe it with a towel, just to, because we had it on a little
thing?
bit longer. Yeah, just kind of wipe some of the heat away, so to speak.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wipe this one.
Oh, this one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can actually, so I'm just pulling heat out.
Well, whatever has been building up, right? It's just going to be a little hot. Do you see that hair?
I got it.
Is that my hair?
It is, but that's okay.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So let's start with the thigh.
The thigh.
Okay.
Okay. Got my thigh.
All right. So make sure you have a pool of heat.
Okay. It's not a commercial hood.
Okay.
Throw that in
It's
there.
working.
Throw that in there like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can take a little bit of your fat.
And just ladle it over.
And then we'll see how our heat's doing, and make sure it's not getting. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so what should it look like?
It should just start to be getting golden. According to Hank, it's better to do it in a pan than in an oven because it's not as drying to the flesh.
Okay.
Now we could also put garlic and onion and
So we want to
other
put,
things in here.
so we got some herbs. Do we put those in last?
I'm gonna wait because I wasn't sure how hot the pan was.
Okay.
Okay, so see how we're starting to get that nice golden
Yep.
skin. Go ahead and flip it. Let's see how yours pan is doing. See, you can see how this is iron. You can see how it's a much better conductor of heat.
Okay.
See how even it is everywhere.
Yep.
And this part of the leg didn't get as caramelized. So you can go back on your first side.
And should I
I'm
hold it
gonna-
down in there? Just
Yeah, you can press it. They give you a little more heat. These pans really hold and
so cast iron,
convey heat well. Yeah.
better than nonstick.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're doing eggs
Okay.
for 5 people.
Okay.
Feeding the family, that's great.
Right.
Or scallops.
Scallops and eggs in a nonstick. All other protein.
Some delicate fish, it's way better.
Okay. Cast iron is.
Unless you have properly seasoned cast iron, then cast iron is just as good, except you have to use a little more fat sometimes. It just depends.
Okay. So you prefer the nonstick?
Only if I have certain cuts of fish, really delicate ones like the Charlie Sole, they're better in nonstick. Scallops can be better in nonstick.
Okay.
All right, so
So
Well-
am I getting a good, how's that looking?
yeah. All right, now I think we gave the thighs a few minutes
So now we're throwing in our
ahead
bread.
of the
Okay.
breast.
Same deal?
Wow, yeah, baste it. And then I'm just watching to see how it's going.
What are you looking for?
Even distribution, even caramelization. the color, the sear. And I think now it's safe to add the herbs, so I'll grab the herbs.
Okay. So do I have enough fat in there? That's enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sage.
Sage, rosemary.
And it's good to not move it at first, right?
Okay.
So the flavor of the herbs is now going into the oil.
Right.
And then we don't want to burn them, so then I'm just gonna lift them up and let them sit up there. Because I like to eat the herbs.
Sure.
You know, like the Italians.
Right.
You go to Italy and they're like just frying sage and putting it in pasta, and you're like, whoa, that's the best thing ever.
So I've heard with meat, you need heat, salt, acid, and fat.
Yep.
So where's our acid coming in on this? Because we got salt, heat, and fat.
Some people would rub the bird, or they would stuff the bird with like orange peel, and we could do that, but we
didn't.
We pan fried.
Right.
Do you want me to fry the skeleton, or do you want to save it?
I'll fry it. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to do it.
All right, we got to salt it.
Okay.
So that's going to be safe over there.
Okay.
I think we should fry the heart too.
Yeah.
That's very Peruvian, you know.
We're doing it.
They do a lot of things with heart.
We're 100% all in. So we're going to fry the skeleton to caramelize it for when we go to make a stock.
No, we're just going to eat it.
We're just going to eat it. Fucking
Since
A.
you only have one,
Yeah.
you're gonna be looking at this thing in the freezer, and you're gonna have ice cream that needs space, and you're gonna be like,
You're just throwing that whole
Summer!
breastbone right up in there.
how long is this gonna be in the freezer?
Yeah. So that breastbone is just, all that stuff just going right in there. And the heart.
Let's get to the heart of the matter.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you didn't wait a beat to make that joke.
Those herbs are delicious. I'm gonna call that done. This the skeleton looks really good.
I'm trying so hard.
I think the skeleton's gonna be the best part.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like the tender, like the same thing on a chicken. The little flap that hangs off the back of the breast.
Yeah.
That's gonna be delicious. All right, so you got really good even distribution. All right, let's just start temping out. Let's see what we got.
I just stick it in here.
Yeah,
Stick it anywhere.
yeah, but don't touch the bone. Yeah, touch the fleshy part of the meat.
I'm reading
Okay,
156.
They say like 165. Here, let's test this breast. Yeah, look at that. Perfect.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
We did it perfect.
What's the verdict?
Oh, so good.
So good.
Yeah, try the dark meat. So good. It does have,
Oh, holy shit. Oh my God, that's so good.
it has
That is so good. Wow. And it really, I mean, as far as the cooking process itself goes, it wasn't that tough.
No,
I mean,
that was easy.
the hardest part, I think, once we got it home was butchering. And that, I have to imagine, is just going to get way better with practice.
Yeah. Knowing.